bro. This thing's messed up.
All right, we live. Just the two of us. If it's just two, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it work. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I know it's Friday. You could be on some date, but you choose to spend a little part of the evening with us. And so we want to talk a couple of things today on this episode about African traditions and culture, and whether we are increasing the influence, whether some things needs to be modified and stuff like that. It looks like every group is trying to basically project its influences through other various spectrums. So we are going to see whether the continent, the motherland, is trying to do that. We just coasting. So the first question for Julian is: um, has the influence of African culture waned in the 21st century? Do you think that we are deliberate in projecting um, our way of thought, our way of life? Um, do you think we actually doing that, or in terms of we being proactive to it, or we are reactive? So, what do you think? Has it waned? Has the African influence waned in the 21st century?
I don't think so. I think we're still doing the same. Like I think it's still like mostly the same. You know what I'm saying? I think
Okay.
when it comes to like thinking, it's the same in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I do think it's evolving in the youth. You know, I think
Okay.
back then like our parents were way more
Great
like
points.
yummy, 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 but the youth are not doing that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I do think like that whole Christianity thing is starting to debuckle off the
This
continent.
is a good idea.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Because for most time, God has been very peaceful because of Christianity. I think those kind of things have put in place so like people don't want to revolt and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
You think
But
so? It's because of Christianity?
I do think so. I do think that Christianity
Okay.
plays a major role in the
It's a
African society,
peaceful religion. Okay.
especially in Western Africa. Especially in Ghana. Like, like I think the population. How many of the population are Christian? You know what I'm saying? Or something.
59, 60% maybe.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying. So I do think in those ways that which we're changing. With the,
Maybe 70. Maybe
yeah,
70%.
I think it's like something like that. But like we're building a cathedral stuff like that. But when I see the cathedral thing, I'm just like that's an old way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think like what I mean like
Great
so
points.
that's like a Barack Obama age would be doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
so like I do think that over time like is changing, But the culture is still intact for the meantime. But I don't know for like how long it'll last. I think
Okay.
yeah.
So you think, but is that influence only concentrated on the continent, or is being projected? Because we see other groups project their influences outside their geographical location. You
I
think we are doing that?
Yeah, I think because why I see like people that are not Ghanaian or not African. When it comes to Africa, they say, "Oh, African Ghanaians are very religious." You know what I'm saying? They have their traditions are in place. You know what I'm saying? I think we're known for like our hospitality, our food, our culture. You know what I'm saying? We do like everyone is still doing like like all the
Good point.
all the dances and stuff like that, like this naming ceremonies are still the same. Like the same thing that we've been doing for centuries, I'm still doing now, Like people are still like doing those same things, you know what I'm saying? Like pouring libations, like all the stuff that you thought like okay, 20th century, like that kind of stuff will be cut out. People are still practicing their like the same old. So in a way, I do think it's still intact for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Especially in Accra, when we go inside like the villages, you know what I'm saying, the rural areas, man, they're living like the living hasn't
Good point.
mine hasn't really evolved that much over the past 10 years.
I, I mean, what do you think? You think if that place is get developed, let's say a couple of decades from now, if it get developed, you think that traditional cultural influence is going to because it's like you said, it's more prominent outside Accra than
I
if you go into the rural areas. What do you think?
think I think it's like for me, I don't know. Even here in the United States, Ghanaians that I know are they're still pounding fufu. You know what I'm saying? And that they're still doing naming ceremonies. I think it is part of who we are. You know what I'm saying? It's like okay, even though
Mhm.
we're in the United States, we never lost our culture. You know what I'm saying? We're still making jollof, still making wache. You still, you know what I'm saying? Doing those same things you're doing if you're in Ghana, but just not there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that like as people as Ghanaians, we always want to keep our identity. You know, I think it's something about us that we always have a pride, you know, to show, yeah, you know, like this is who we are. You know, and the thing is that when I go anywhere I see a Ghanaian, I can have those conversations, and then I can go there and you know what I'm saying. We
Great
have
point.
common because those traditions are mostly the same, especially if you're from the same tribe. I always when I see someone from like say like I can meet someone from like Chicago or like Atlanta, I feel more at ease because I'm like, oh, I feel like I guess I'm my family member, you know, even though they're not my family member, because we have so much in
Mhm.
common, even though we don't even know each other that well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
So my thoughts about this question, primarily was I agree a lot of things you said in terms of um so on the so there's one side on the continent, so you see it's almost um by choice. It's almost like by choice. We are, or subconsciously, we carry on the tradition. But then also, then when you look at the influence of the 21st century by major powers, you also see that it will be interesting if we stick to our standard of beauty, right? So there's a level of cultural expression in terms of even clothing, and also our standard of beauty, what we consider beautiful, our standard of what is acceptable to us, and that should not be influenced greatly, and the food and have a staple, um, and I think even it would be nice, like you go to even the top some of these top restaurants, and you can still get like kunkunte and that kind of stuff. And so I think what you said was true is the younger generation, we call them by the social media generation, right?
Mhm.
um they trying to get away from that aspect. If you give them the two worlds, they'll probably say they want the modern world with all its problems. And so you still find people that actually cherish and appreciate the culture and stuff like that. So you have that. But for me, it would be nice if we can also project that outside the continent, and not just keep it inward, but also project it, and also try to influence other group as they try to influence ours with their culture and stuff like that. So for me, when I look at this thing, I think is more concentrated geographically, or when we move and within our own culture and stuff like that, with our own nationals and stuff like that. We kind of like concentrate and then talk about these things. But it will be I think it would be a great idea if we expand that, and feel the proudness of who you are as an African. And you can't be semi-African. You gotta be African night and day, in how you conduct yourself and stuff like that. So I think there's still some great influence in there. It will be interesting, the young generation, how they decide. Even in some places, libation is frowned upon, right?
Where
And
in
stuff
Ghana?
like that. Like, not in terms of, like, if you're deeply religious,
Hmm.
then you would, in terms of, if you're of the Islamic faith, or if you're from the Christian faith, your pastor is not pouring libation or anything like that. So because that will go against some belief system.
But
But go ahead.
but okay. So the thing is that I think most I don't know about everybody, but I can see people that actually go to church that actually do both. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I see some people that go to church but actually do like the traditional, like pouring libations, all that stuff, and they actually go to church too. They have both.
I think you cut out. All right, so you can log in and come back in. All right, so yeah, so like Ashanti Queen said, you see the influence in music, lifestyle, food, traditions, and I think uh, we should actually encourage that and be
But,
will
but
be. Go ahead.
you say music. Has any Ghanaian won a Grammy? Have we
No,
won?
but that is trying to fit in the European system. So we should have our form of music, which which is celebrated. We can even do like the West African music academy or whatever,
Oh
and
no,
that would just
but,
be
but, but we
traditional music. Say it
no, no.
again.
But what I'm saying is that if you have like Afro beats, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you have Woods Kid, you have someone like Burna Boy that are doing like African mute style music, and they're getting like recognized worldwide for, doing their own. It's not like they're doing something
Yeah,
different.
but
But no,
so but those are blends though. Like so
not really.
like what if you look at high life, right? So high life is a traditional
Okay,
African music. If you look at what Fela is doing and the Mali musicians are doing, these are like classical, like indigenous African sound, right? Now, when you start messing up with, other
Shabbat,
components of the
yeah,
pop, so it's more like, stuff like that. So I think they could even separate that on the two, like indigenous African music,
okay,
and they have our own kind of like academy.
yeah,
We can even do
okay,
regional and then do on the continent, yeah,
okay,
and stuff like that. So because we it's a great sound. It's just we have to be proud of it and extend that and extend that um and stuff like that, and not always feel like we have to
fit
have
in.
other people set a standard fit in. We try to fit in. No, there's
But,
stand out.
do you know what I noticed that? Like a lot of Ghanaians love American culture. Like a lot of my cousins don't understand or speak Tree, which I thought was wild. And they live in Ghana. I'm like, what? You guys are in Ghana? You guys don't understand Tree? You don't speak Tree? You speak English all the time? I found that fascinating. I was like, bro, like, do you know how big of a disadvantage you're gonna be? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not like I was so surprised how they didn't understand Tree, or they couldn't understand it. I was like, wow, this is like crazy. Like, how can like it's unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Like, even my cousin that live outside in the Western world, we all understand the language. So I just kind of found that kind of interesting. I don't know if you've seen that kind of thing too coming up. Have you seen that more often?
Yeah, when I was in Ghana,
Uh-huh.
I remember what is it? Yes, in primary school, you have to pick a local language, right?
Yeah.
It was something you had to do. There was no escaping that. So you pick a local language, you have to be able to understand, read, write, right?
Oh,
I don't think they're doing it anymore. If still happening at GSS and SS, somebody let me know. Um, but I don't think they are doing that. So these are something I think we need to go back,
yeah.
infuse that, and you get picked. You didn't have to really. You were not granted. They didn't offer all the languages. There were maybe about 4 or 5 per se. But I think they have to find a way that listen, they should offer all the languages as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and so because that'd be good. So it's about being proud. We can't if you're eloquent in somebody's language, but you don't understand your own.
It's
I
crazy.
think I think it's crazy.
It's mad.
You know? Okay, we're gonna tap it off to the second one. Okay, so which part of the African culture tradition should we maintain? So which ones? Obviously, I'm thinking. So I'm thinking.
I, I
It's great. Say it again.
Like the outdoors, I like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you want the traditional marriage stuff like that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to be maintained. Okay.
I think like, you know, as this part, like, you know, like
Great points.
I think there's certain things that I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? There's certain
Okay.
things I don't like, so I don't really care for. You know what I'm saying? Like the poor
Mhm.
libation thing, and it's like, you know, talking to one nana. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
that's awesome. That is awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. I was like, you know what? Like I don't even like I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's awesome. Pay homage.
you
Yeah,
know,
I do. It's awesome. So I think the food. I think the food, the clothing, the traditions. I think the folk tales, the stories, right?
yeah.
That when we are told, these moral stories that we were told, or the lessons that were in these stories.
And I
I
say,
think Yanansi, Kwekwanansi stories, but they always have like a big motive or theme in there. So I miss those. I also miss. I feel like those days the elders actually were responsible, and they lead, and basically they live their life with which commanded the respect, right?
uh-huh,
Because we're very cautious, knowing that what they watch what they say, what they do, because they know the kids will be influenced by that.
yeah,
Now it's like forget it, right?
yeah.
And so I miss the essence, of that, the community spirit of making sure that whatever your actions are, you have to look at it from how it affects the community. Um, so I like that aspect, of the culture
What don't you
just
like?
being proud. Um,
That's what.
we can move on. We can come back. We can switch back and forth. So
Okay.
modify. So modification. So what? There's a couple of things I think it should be modified. Um,
Can I say something before you go?
Go ahead.
The word modify can be very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because once you
Okay.
modify something, it'll never be the same. And yes, you know what I'm saying?
Correct. Correct. But you are
Good
trying
point.
to change. You are trying to prevent that, not making it the same, right? So you can, some things you can modify, some things you got to get rid of. Like for example,
Uh-huh.
female circumcision, get rid of that. There's no necessity for that. So I'm glad that one has been removed, passed into law. Hopefully people are not doing that. So that got to go. Um, the other thing I think it should be modified, that I think is setting us back. It's good to have the community spirit, but there's also the tendency for the whole family to put a burden on one person, right? So if you have somebody who maybe wants more, that's more, then that person is responsible for the whole community. And I think that is a lot to bear. Is really, really a lot to bear. And so that thing needs to be modified. And
But
saying that, go ahead.
but I think some of the blame is on the person though. You know what I'm saying? No one can make you do something you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like I understand that you may feel the pressure. Oh, my bar broke it, so I had to go. And I feel like some people feel like since they came to outside, like when they come back, they have to come show what the reason why what was like what's the reason why you went there for. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come back, you know, it's funny because like I think
Good point.
as a community, we spend at least $5,000 or $4,000 before we leave the U.S. or Europe before we go home, just to buy all this crap for people. You know what I'm saying? For no reason, just to like please people, just because you want to show them that I came back from the West, and you know what I'm saying, I'm successful, or trying to prove something to somebody. But instead of, you know what I'm saying, so over time, I stopped doing that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm wasting too much money. Like before I even get on the continent, I would spend like $4,000 on people that would not do the same thing for me or couldn't do the same thing for me. You know, I think what you can do is that you can give them that 200 CD, whatever you want to give that person, and keep it moving. But I think it's like I feel like that whole you like put all the pressure on you is kind of like. the person wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying? I suppose it's a two-way street. You know.
But the thing is, so if you were born into that, raised into that, I remember they will say, if you plant banana, plant some plantain. Pretty much is, and so it's been ingrained in you as a child that basically there's that obligation to the family, and so basically the reason why I think I want this thing to be modified because this thing is the reason why we can accumulate wealth, we can build asset and live on to the next generation because you are trying to climb up, but you have a lot of people holding you, and so you can barely go up. And you have all these responsibilities to able bodies who can at least, take care of themselves or at least help in the process. So that mentality is really not going to work because what you do is you create a perpetual dependency um, that is not sustainable. And so you have people that feel guilty when they cannot do these things because it's relentless, and the guilt, they feel like, they have to take care of everybody back home. Meanwhile, they're having children, a lot of children, and you feel like you have to be responsible for that. So that part of that mentality needs to be modified and at least make it in a way that's a community effort, but everybody must be able to at least support themselves. And then the extras they can bring together and help the community. So that one needs to be modified. Certain way of thinking too. I think um, the African traditions and culture does not make us highly, 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 highly competitive. Competitive. What I mean by highly competitive is like you trying to dominate the world and control the world with your influences and create systems that the world operates in. We don't operate like that. I think we rather fit in, and stuff like that. And so, but we live in a world that is very, very competitive. And so we need to change that mentality to extend that because if you're not competitive, eventually, you're just going to be at the bottom, and the people at the top don't really care. So we need to change certain things and modify them with time. We can't really try to do the same thing that in 300 BC, and it's still going to be effective 21st century. So it's just about adapting and keep what we keep that are precious, but also modify and then move on. For discussion.
But
Yes,
no,
that one too.
yeah, well, the thing I say is, I think it all comes education. You know what I'm saying? Um, the more people are more educated, the more the mind can go, the more that those kind of things can be let go of. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know the population that go to school. Like how much of the youth are actually getting educated? You know what I'm saying? After JSS and SSS, you know what I'm saying? How many of them are actually going to university? Like, I don't know the percentage, so I can't really say much. But I think what needs
Mhm.
to happen is if more people are getting uh, education, their minds will expand. You know what I'm saying? You can only grow until you learn new things. So you do
Mhm.
same old until you get explore something new. You know. So I
Great
think
point.
like they just haven't got the experience to see anything new. So that's why they're still doing the same thing. But they saw something new, they probably have a different mindset, and they might be able to think more logical and be more subconscious about certain things.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it's true. What you put in your head is going to produce an outcome, and so I think sometimes don't hold on to things because it's the past. If it's not productive, if it's not going to take you where you want to go, then no matter how value you think it is, just let it go.
But
And so I think sometimes we do that. We hold on to certain belief system, which is or even cultural practice, which is not going to help you in 21st century when things are moving so fast. and the world is getting smaller in terms of, because there's information. It used to be what you could access in a month. You can get it right now in seconds. So it's a world that is evolving, and I think that we need to look at it and also evolve with it while we maintain our level of identity, some identity, so
Well, I,
we don't
I would say one thing. How did you know that we need to change our way of thinking? Is because you looked outside, right? Or do you think that you had always that? Did you always think that we had to change our thinking?
Good point.
Lived in Ghana, or once you exposed to something new and you saw something better, then that's why you kind of think that we need to change our mind way of thinking. Because if you see something that's like you went to a different culture and you see that, oh, okay, wow, something that you were doing back home doesn't seem right anymore because you experienced something new, right? Would you still think that we change our culture if you lived in Ghana all your life and you never came to us?
exposure,
Yeah,
the exposure, right? You need a reference to
you're like,
measure where what you think, what you do, so then you can see whether yours is good or bad. And if it's not productive,
let it go.
um, then let it go. Just let it go quickly. Oh, questions. So keep them coming. All right. So let's move to what is it? Distance. How do we make African culture significant, influential in this modern world? So how do we um because it is I understand when, because either you're going to influence somebody or somebody's going to influence you,
Of course.
right? And so I understand. I don't have any problem uh, if some people want to influence the African continent. I have no problem with that. We should be trying to do the same, because if you don't do it, then somebody's going to do it. Winners do. Winners will try to get to the top. So you just gotta compete, and we can't, because if you don't detect it, if you don't start it, then you're going to be at the mercy of whatever the outcome is, and in most cases it's not going to be good for you. And that is what we find ourselves in the world, that we don't have terms, like we don't even, when we do these economic deals, uh, we don't factor in sovereignty, we don't factor in heritage, we don't factor in the tradition, which is a no-no, especially destroying the rivers, which is a no-no. um, on the traditional level, it's a no-no. um, because we don't have this, people can just come here and walk all over whatever it is. They could be like, screw what you think, right?
Hmm.
And I think that we need to get to a point that we say, oh, okay, if you have to deal with us, these are the conditions that you have to deal us with. Other than that, there's no deal. And that is how you are going to get our influence and get our respect, because other groups do it. And maybe in the short term, you pay a price, but maybe in the long term, you've made a statement. Say, listen, we rather suffer than get into a deals which we feel disrespected, and that kind of stuff. So, how do we make African culture significant and influential? Well, what are some of the things you think we can do?
Um, I don't know, but I think 2 weeks ago I talked to you about like I don't know why you know what I'm saying that when it comes to architecture that we're not trying new things. You know what I'm saying? This is the one thing. This is exactly what you're talking about. Like why are we not expanding our knowledge? We're still doing this like
Great points.
you know what I mean, like this dark, gloomy homes, and then you got the windows on the bedroom. I'm like, why would you need windows on the bedroom? I never understood that concept. But if someone can explain that window in the bedroom thing, I would never understand that thing. It
So,
just
like internal windows, like a
yeah,
hallway, then there's a
no.
windows in there that overlook into a bedroom or living room.
So it's like you have like
Ventilation.
you have a hallway, right? And then you have a window on your bedroom on the bedroom, but like say that this is the bedroom wall. There's a window so you can pull open and look through the hallway. I'm just like,
It make it easier to get food through your bedroom.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the kitchen, locking the kitchen up and saying that, oh, the food smells. And you lock it like that, yeah, man. Anyway, but okay, I'll coffee. But when it comes to like architecture, it comes to health. Like why
Mhm.
can't we be the lead of something? You know what I'm saying? Like I know we do cocoa, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? We are recognized for certain things like that, agriculture.
Mhm.
You know, but when it comes to like you know like even sports, you know, like where is Ghana other than like the Black Stars that fell off? You know, they're not really the same Black Stars that they used to be. Like
Mhm.
where do we fit in into
Good
this?
point.
Like, are we always gonna be in the middle? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Ghanaians are good people, humble people, and they're lovely people to be around. That's what when people like I talk to most people are Ghanaians. That's what I hear about the you know. But when I hear about
Mhm.
Nigeria, it's like oh, Nigerians are very smart, very innovative. You know what I mean? It's like wow, man, you gotta be on your feet. Like you know, these people are very you know like you know like you see you know what I'm saying? Like we we have this thing about us being like humble, and then we have like lovely, and those things are great.
Great points.
But like we have to be more. Oh, when you go, Ghanaians like, oh wow, these people are. You got to know for doing pop pop pop. You know, like when people
Yeah.
say America, I went well, I don't be by, and then a guy asked me, he goes, "Where you from?" I was like, "I'm from America." He goes, "I can see it because I see the swag." You know what I'm saying? I can see that you're from America. Like I can tell that you're different from everyone else because like how you guys are. You guys are you know you guys are unique. You know what I'm saying? Just I
Mhm.
didn't say
Great
it's just
point.
how you act. You know the confidence is just different. You know, so I think
Mhm.
that it's something that we have to build upon. But we have to be
Yeah.
good at something. Like tell us one thing that nationally that you know that like we're good at. Like is not entertainment is not there. Sports is not there. Education
Mhm.
is not there. You know what I'm saying? Like social media, we're not like the top. Like you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
haven't developed like TikTok. We haven't developed YouTube. Like we haven't
Mhm.
like we like I know we're still a developing country, but China's still a developing country. Look what China's done. You know what I'm saying? Look at Singapore.
Mhm.
Look at I'm like it just shows you that like like what have we watched in the main stage like YouTube or Google like anything like that would be good to
Mhm.
I don't know.
Good point.
It's like you mentioned something earlier. You see, it's a mindset thing, right? And that is why you see this, right? Um, when there's certain mindset we got to destroy right away. You see, the problem with this community thing is that we become uncomfortable when you have a superstar in, right? And that is why you notice when somebody rise, they're trying to bring them down. You see what I'm saying? Because they stretch them, they make them uncomfortable. They make them feel like sometimes they are losers. Sometimes, right?
Like weary.
Yeah, and so you see, and just in nature, it's like that. You're gonna have your superstars, and you let them fly. In other part of the continent, they let them fly, right? They let them fly, and those are the people that go and invent stuff, right? That the world ends up benefiting because there's no limitations, And so we have to cherish the superstars. Like we have to appreciate our nerds. Our nerds are the people that should be running things, right? Not the the idiot guy who got a swag but can put things together. And so because we do that, it's not like we don't have people on the continent, outside the continent that intellectually are able to do these things. Because when they leave the continent, it's because of exposure. When they leave the continent, you see how bright, how far they can go, because they get into environment that there's not a restriction per se. There might be some restrictions, but it's not. You don't have the society trying to bring them down to a certain level of thinking or a certain level of success. And so we have to get to a point that we are encouraging the superstars. I mean, this is more on the continent to fly high and support them. And how many times do you see a kid in Africa invent something and we don't even fund the scholarship or like put you know bring the kid and put resources for the kid to be able to use the brain, the gift, and to improve on that invention. We don't see it. If it was here, somebody will pick them up ASAP. And so these are some of the things that we need to do because other people are using their superstars. They are using their high IQ. You know, we are not. We are not. It almost becomes like there's a level that you got to stay. If you rise above it, you become a threat. You become a threat. So that is a product of this communal thing that we all have to you know be on this one level. And I don't think it has to be like that. It's like people let people rise and go as far as they are. They can pull certain people, those who want to come. There's going to be people who doesn't want to do anything and stay there. But the idea, the people that is superstar, you protect them. We should protect them. We should encourage them. We should support them. We should make them always kind of like the untouchable. We should make them like that, not try to connive and bring them down.
Yeah. I agree with that. You know what? When like, I think we're all like talking about building and stuff like that. And the funny thing is that when I started to build my own place, people that I thought would be like encouraging me were telling me that I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" It's like,
Great points.
you know what I mean? It's like, no, man, you've been outside for so long, like you couldn't, you can't do it. I'm just like, what do you mean? It's like you gotta be like your 50s or 40 years old before you can build a house. And I was just like, man, these people are really messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, bro, I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like you think young people don't make money or something? Like maybe
Yeah, yeah.
in Ghana, it's unusual, but there's just some bright young people out there that can do like things that you would never be able to do.
Great
You
points.
know?
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes you have to show people that it can be done. So the next
Hmm.
person think that, okay, you know what, this person is able to do it. For example, you be on
Hmm.
your channel when you're building your house. I wonder how many people you actually encourage that are building because or started building because of watching you do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know, I hate to say that. Oh, your your beer series that you did because you did a good job recording everything. One thing that I
Hmm.
like about how you did your thing was that you recorded everything from A to B. You know what I'm saying? Like you did everything. Like most people don't record everything, and then the footage was very methodical and like you took your time and really sat there and put in some work and giving us content that back in like what 20 when you start what
2012.
2012.
2012 August.
I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is very interesting. I didn't think, like, I wasn't used to seeing that much content, like 30-minute video, YouTube video, that with good camera view, like good, like clear understanding, methodical, not basa like camera over here. Then someone's, what I'm saying? It was like, hey, like had direction, so it was easy to follow. And then you got steps to build a house. It's kind of interesting. I haven't seen anyone else do that, by the way. If like what I'm saying, I see people that are
I'm
starting.
waiting for the big check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I'm waiting for a big check.
but
The thing,
uh,
I always say, you know, be be who you are.
uh-huh.
If you're African, be African everywhere. Not just when you get to the continent. So, and I speak with an accent, and I wish it never goes away because I want you to ask me where you're from, right?
Oh,
And so it was a way, when I was doing that thing, it was a way to prove something, which is that I used to watch MTV Crib,
uh-huh. Oh, me too.
and so it was a way to show that okay, yeah, we can build these houses too. We can build them too. We can build them big, but the difference, the awesome thing was, it's not mortgaged.
Exactly. You own it.
So I was trying to prove that you don't have to live in shacks. You don't have to live in trees like the assumption is. This house, Mediterranean house, that could fit anywhere in Miami, it can fit anywhere in California, Atlanta, anywhere, is also in Africa. So for me, it was a way to prove that um, you can be black and build something comparable to the nice homes that you find in the West. So that was the mentality. That was something that I kept to myself. And so I've had some non-white people visit me. Some friends came to Ghana, and they were very, very impressed. And that was the point I was trying to make. And I can tell you, when they came back here, the attitude towards me changed because they saw that they couldn't afford that type of house here without going to significant debt. And man, it was very comfortable. It was spacious. It has the same amenities they find here. So for me, it was just that mentality of saying, listen, I don't equate Africa with poverty. I don't equate Africa with lack of intelligence. I don't equate that. And I'm proving by myself, yes, you can find some Africans that may fit the stereotype. So you can find other people that also fit any kind of stereotype. But with me, that's why I always use the word it's about excellence, not perfection, it's about excellence. It's me trying to do something to show that, listen, it doesn't matter. You can be over there and also do it in style and then do it right for, do it right. So that was for me the push. And I'm looking forward for the day that, the Bentleys will come, the Rolls Royce will come. I'm trying to make a statement and say, yes, they got to fix the road though.
No, but
They got to fix the road for me.
the thing is that like there's so many things that we could be like the one thing that I that we could do that can make a statement was like how many African countries have been to space? You know what I'm saying? Like we're about to make
Okay.
space in America like
Great
going
point.
plane. You know what I'm saying? Would it be nice to be like, oh, Ghana's the first African country to go into space, or or any African country, by the way? But I'm saying, like, why, like, we're so worried about certain things. I'm like, man, we should be worried about like new ideas. Like, space is about to be like a 30-minute thing. You know what I mean? Like going to Kennedy Space Center to get on a flight. It's crazy what's going on and how far and how behind we are when it comes to like modern like technology and like trying to like to you know what I mean? Like electric cars. I don't know how far when we can get electric cars in Ghana. We still haven't done some. So like like we got a lot of challenges, but I think we can actually get something done. That would be really good.
Oh, we can do it. The thing that also um the interesting thing though, the people that could do it, they don't really sometimes get into the position to be able to do it. Um, but for me, it has to be, you got to compare. It's like when I'm building, you see, when I'm building, I'm not comparing to any building. I'm looking, because sometimes I do this. I look at the best architectural buildings in the world. That's where I start. And I start looking at stuff because I'm trying to replicate that or duplicate that. So that is the mentality. I'm not going to compare with something that I saw someplace else. It has to be the top because I believe that that is what I deserve and that's what I'm willing to sacrifice for. And so that is the mentality of us saying that um, we are confident enough in our abilities to also deliver, to also go to space and stay longer, to also, explore the galaxies. We are confident because if you are really confident, you're going to put the work in. But if you're not putting the work, that means you're not confident. right? And so I think we need to get to that point of look, waiting for somebody for the validation. I think we tend to do that and look at yourself, say you're good enough. Now let me go do what I need to do and prove to myself. Then I can accomplish these things. So I think that would be a whole set of mind changes because sometimes they'll do a little bit like, if I was an MP, I'm not celebrating because I gave the public bathroom. I'm not celebrating that stuff. I'm not celebrating that stuff. Like now if I build, you know, 6 interchange highways, the best highway in the world, yeah, we celebrate that. But anything less than that, we're not cutting ribbons for that kind of stuff. So it's all the mentality. It's just a mentality thing for what we celebrate as success compared to what some of us look at it like, nah, man, you barely scratching the surface. This is not it. And so I think we've lost the proudness sometimes of because we're looking for validation, for other people to say, what, or approve your humanity and stuff like that. And if where you come from and your history and who you are, and you believe in yourself, just gonna put in the work. And other than that, you can't say you feel like you're worthy, you feel like you're a winner, you feel like you can do all these things and not do them. Doesn't make sense. You can go to the NBA and win a championship, but you don't even know how to shoot a basketball. There's a disconnect.
Yeah.
So I think we gotta and that is why I started with my kids. The belief is super high. There's no can't in this house. Is you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. But there's nothing that is impossible. So that mindset needs to change. So the African kid can look at himself, look at his conditions, even though his conditions does not look like ideal, but you can look at himself and say, listen, I myself is worthy of all the possibilities that life has to offer. And I'm gonna go there and find out way to improve it.
Oh,
So I think once we do that, we're gonna influence the world.
do you know what's very funny? You said something that made me laugh. You goes, I talk to ask you where I'm from.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Nana, Nana, right?
Yeah, nah, nah. No, no, but the thing is that you actually where you from. Funny story. Like I went somewhere like I was in Orlando, and then I was at a hotel, and I
Mhm.
used to people actually where you from. You know what I'm saying? But so it was an African American person. You know what I'm saying? Like black on black. So like I'm checking in. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
The girl goes, I like your complexion is
Mhm.
is different. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, oh really? I was like, what? I was so confused. I never heard it before. She goes, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm from Orlando. And she goes, no, 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 no. Where are you really, really from? You know? And I was like, okay, I'm from Ghana. He goes, yeah. And see, the thing is that like I get that from like mostly people that are black than other races, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that kind of question always makes me laugh. Like I don't know, I'm like, yo,
yeah,
where you from? Like you're not just America. So where you really from?
yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
I'm not you're not a real American. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
Yeah.
for me, so I let them know. I'm from Ghana, and I start, I always state Ghana first, and then if they don't know where it is, I give them the geographical location and stuff like that. So because it is what it is, I don't have a problem with that. Um, you know, and so it doesn't just because you meet some Ghanaian who doesn't got shit to get us, has no relevance on me. So I can only do what I can control. So I'm proud of that. And so now it's true. We really need to be proud in how we do things and also try to put a stake into the world and compete, and then compete and also make sure that like we control certain things in the world. And so it's all about influence. We don't have influence. If you don't have your influence, your kids pay a price for it, right? And that's what it is. The reason why black people get disrespected and mistreated all over the world is because Africa get no respect. Is what I'm saying? Because Africa get no respect. So the day Africa will be strong and stand on its 2 feet and stuff like that, you know, its children all over the world will be treated as such. And so that's what it is. But anyway, shout out to a few people that joined us. Royal Kemet, thank you for joining. Shanti Queen, thank you. I thought you were gonna come on live. Um, but all the same was good. It was good. It was good. Good discussion that we had here. The culture is important. Some we need to keep, some we need to modify, some we just need to get rid of, and just go and compete. And it would be nice we go to a planet that nobody has ever visited. That'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be dope. So we look forward to that. If we don't do it, next generation will be put in a better place to do it. And so, other than that, if you don't have any questions or comments, we're gonna wrap it up. I know it's Friday. Some of you are going on some dates. I'm not home. Too much noise. Well, yeah, okay, I understand you and stuff. So, but tomorrow there is I'm going to do a live stream. I don't think I've done a live stream about this, the psychological impact and the stress it takes to build a house remotely. I know Ashanti Queen can relate to that, and Julian can relate to that. It's no joke. It's very, very serious. Um, and a lot of people are dealing with this. So I want them to make sure that they're not alone, and offer some tips how I went through that. Because it is going to come. Is it going to feel like, man, this is on unending projects? Uh, and I respect the single people that are doing it alone because, man, it's hard. You take all the bad news and stuff like that. So I respect that. And if you're a couple, you are doing it too. Sometimes it can be a problem because somebody be like, it start a fight. Bad news start a fight. And so tomorrow it's gonna be a good discussion to have about a stress level, what to expect, what stress are normal, what is not normal, when to take a break if it's going too much and regroup. Because sometimes you gotta let the project get away from the project for some time, regroup, and then come back and stuff like that. Because you don't want to burn out. We don't want anxiety. We don't want depression because you're trying to build this dream home and stuff like that. So tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and that'll be 10 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us. We appreciate you spending our Friday night with us. Thanks. We appreciate you. All right.